the silver and the bronze. I give you Canada, France, Germany, Serbia, and Australia.
Germany, more so than Canada. I think that their talent, it's a little more tiered. You know what Dennis Schroeder's capable of, Franz Wagner, another player, Daniel Tice steps up, and Mo Wagner as well. They're built to really take advantage of the mistakes that Team USA makes, and they can make the effort plays.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Try and set the stage for what should be a great year of NFL action.
There's a handful of teams that potentially can compete for a Super Bowl championship.
Confusion and uncertainty this year more than some in the past.
This team looks like it's ready to make a move, but we just don't know if it's bad or good this year.
J.J. McCarthy is eventually going to take over, but it's like it's a no-lose situation for them.
I mean, they suck. They were 7-10.
Only on SportsGrid.
That race for the Cy Young, pretty much as equally compelling and intriguing as the race for the wild card spots in the National League.
And also keep in mind, this team doesn't pitch the entire season, so his ERA gets affected much, much more if he has a poor outing than, let's just say, Chris Sale or Zach Wheeler that's been there all season long. This would be a fun one to watch it play out, but the big loser last night were the Phillies and Zach Wheeler.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Hopefully they learned their lesson. Hey, this ain't the NBA, bro. You don't have 6 fouls, and they will check you on this stuff. And Brooks has a reputation coming into this. You can tell the refs are watching them, and they were on him all the time.
This was 10, 12 years ago. Canada playing Greece with that type of lead that they had. They probably would have mentally crumbled and lost that game to Greece by 3 or 4 points in the final minute of that ball game.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Ferrall has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. It's Ferrall on the bench, coast to coast in the biggest way possible. Hanging out the bad seed, the broken eight, a bad apple with a bad attitude. We are live in New York City, the Big Apple. Ooh. People dressed in plastic bags, directing traffic, some kind of fashion shake-it-up, shadoobie. Along with the mayor of Miami today, the privilege of having one Joe Ranieri here on C2C, a very strong effort. Mafia running it with Luke, I am your father. The rundown on a guest relations basis is Morency in the first hour, a double shot. Plus, look at who it is. John Jastrzemski from New York, New York, the podcast on Ringer. And in the third and final hour, Chill, Clarence Hill Jr. from the Cowboys training camp today and the Fort Worth Star Telegram. Plus, Adam Kaplan, I believe, is somewhere like Los Angeles or something. I mean, this guy's like, I think he's actually calling us from L.A. I mean, he was flying out there the other day. I can't keep track of Waldo over here and all of his travels. The mayor, always good to see you. I haven't done a show with you in a while. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I was just saying, Scotty, I'm like, wow, football season is almost here. College football, NFL, just 3 weeks away. And I'm sure we're going to have the pleasure of running into one another again on the weekends.
I mean, unbelievable that Joe Ranieri is here today. It really is crazy. So, the U.S. men's basketball team has a big game today here. Their quarterfinal match against Brazil. I already saw Serbia win in overtime today over Australia. The U.S. laying 27 and a hook, and 184 and a hook is the total against a team that has, I think, every starter in double figures, averaging double figs for the tournament, and the number one offensive rebounding team in the quarterfinals. Brazil bangs the glass. Can they cover that number?
Yeah, they could, Scotty. I mean, we're in the knockout stage now, right? So Team USA, it serves them no purpose to try and win by margin, to gain any sort of point differential, right? We're past that now. So literally the only thing that matters is winning, and that's it. And I would imagine a team like Brazil is going to keep coming at them, even if they are down 20, 25 late in the game. So it's not a number worth laying, but I do think if you're looking to back Team USA, I would do it early, Scotty, in the first half. Expect them to come out firing, and then you got to worry about them taking their foot off the gas a little bit in the second half. But I don't see this being much of a problem for Team USA in this game.
So France beat Canada and sent them packing 82-73. Rudy Gobert and Evan Fournier were out of the starting lineup for France in their quarterfinal today. And then Germany beat Greece 76-63. I have to tell you, I think Germany's the best team. With Schroeder and the Wagners and Tice, I think they're the most impressive. I think everyone thinks it's going to be France because of Wembanyama, but the facts remain. I think most basketball people would have picked Canada to win that game, Joe, based on their talent. I mean, Canada was stacked with NBA players and really good ones. Shea Gilgeous, it goes on and on. Murray, RJ Barrett, you name it. So were you surprised that they got knocked out and that France got by him? And now that Germany's still there, is that who you're worried about if you're the U.S.?
Listen, if you're the U.S., you got to be worried about all of them, because we know one thing, Scotty. They've had the target on their back the entire time, right? So Team USA, they're not going to be able to just show up and think they're going to win in these. I think France, the change in the starting rotation was interesting with Fournier and Rudy Gobert not starting, but ultimately, listen, any of those teams, Scotty, Team USA has a starting lineup and a rotation that will counter anything those teams do well, and Team USA will be able to take them away. I think the big question is not if Team USA will win, but quite honestly, how they will win. That's a pretty big and easy problem to have for Steve Kerr, knowing that you can match up against any of these remaining teams.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Do you think that this Wembanyama guy could give them problems? If they're not starting Gobert and Fournier and they're just going Wemby, I don't see how that team could stop him with just, frankly, he's the only guy I'm worried about.
That's the only guy. And he won't beat five, the starting five of Team USA, but he has certainly brought a different flavor to that France team. And, listen, they are the host nation. To me, Scotty, of all the teams left, France is, it says something when you have the entire nation, your own backyard backing you up at these games. It's got to be a pretty big adrenaline rush. So France, to me, is a team that, in all likelihood, is the one I would keep the eye on that has maybe the most juice left to take USA on head-to-head.
So a couple of things, Joe. Let me ask Mafia, Joe looks great with his tan, right? Like the Miami thing he's got going on, the tan. He looks good. Luke, you think he looks good? So you look fantastic, Joe. How did Hurricane Debbie affect you at all, if at all, in Miami, as opposed to, the Gulf Coast and Tampa and Sarasota, and how that thing landed in Florida in terms of the rain and everything, and now moved into Georgia, South Carolina? It's just massive flooding. How did it affect you at all? I love hurricanes.
Yeah, no. It was like most of the women, Scotty. The window shook for a little while, and then it was gone by morning. So it was mostly a West Coast situation anyway. But there was a little bit of, those feeder bands start come rolling in, Scotty, and it's you get the 8 inches of rain in 25 minutes, but then it's gone and it dries up an hour later. The West Coast got pummeled. But they did a smart thing a long time ago in Florida. They built all of the power lines, and instead of continuing to build them above ground, they were like, what would make a lot of sense is if maybe we just put all the lines underground so we don't lose power anymore. Great idea, Florida. So yeah, we were okay, knock on wood.
So now, after I left living there, they now have everything's underground and there's no more telephone poles. Wow.
Yep. Finally smart.
Wow, DeSantis really got something accomplished down there, huh? So today, the women's soccer team beat Germany 1-0 in extra time. The Sophia Smith goal, the difference, 1-0, and the U.S. goes to the gold medal match. How about this women's soccer team is impressive. I love Trinity Rodman and Smith and Swanson. They're really good.
Yep. Yeah. Trinity Rodman is she is amazing. She really is. And I thought she was fantastic. Obviously against Japan, she ended up getting it done. But yeah, I think Team USA is on their way to get another gold medal, and a well-deserved gold medal too at that. So I enjoyed watching. I thought it was going to be a few more goals today, Scotty, but I'll take the 1-0 win again. I'm all right with that.
Yeah, her bender against Japan, going from the right leg to the left leg, was vicious.
Yes, unreal. Perfect timing too. Extra time, right? Comes around, hits it in the corner, jackpot. A lot like her old man used to do every now and then.
Yeah, it's surprising that he doesn't show up, right? Like, you haven't seen him at the Olympics. He does nothing with her.
Yep.
She talks about being estranged from him her whole life. It's really crazy.
Yep.
So there you have it. The U.S. wins 1-0 over Germany. We're getting ready for USA-Brazil in men's hoops. The last quarterfinal game of the day in basketball. Should be a good one.
Hopefully they learned their lesson. Hey, this ain't the NBA, bro. You don't have 6 fouls, and they will check you on this stuff. And Brooks has a reputation coming into this. You can tell the refs are watching them, and they were on him all the time.
This was 10, 12 years ago. Canada playing Greece with that type of lead that they had. They probably would have mentally crumbled and lost that game to Greece by 3 or 4 points in the final minute of that ball game.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Try and set the stage for what should be a great year of NFL action.
There's a handful of teams that potentially can compete for a Super Bowl championship.
Confusion and uncertainty this year more than some in the past.
This team looks like it's ready to make a move, but we just don't know if it's bad or good this year.
J.J. McCarthy is eventually going to take over, but it's like it's a no-lose situation for them.
I mean, they suck. They were 7-10.
Only on SportsGrid.
That race for the Cy Young, pretty much as equally compelling and intriguing as the race for the wild card spots in the National League.
And also keep in mind, this team doesn't pitch the entire season, so his ERA gets affected much, much more if he has a poor outing than, let's just say, Chris Sale or Zach Wheeler that's been there all season long. This would be a fun one to watch it play out, but the big loser last night were the Phillies and Zach Wheeler.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Their coach has a personality that is New York City. Tough, grinding, defensive, no holds barred. We muck this game up and we make you play it our way. And Tibbs has been rewarded, and he should be rewarded for what he's done with the Knicks.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Oh, what's up? You watching the game? Or maybe the one later? Put a little BetMGM action on it, and now any game becomes the game. When you got overs and unders, you're in it every time they throw the ball, kick the ball, dribble the ball. Maybe it's not even a ball. Who needs a ball? Now that bet's got you watching every inning, half, round, period, set, hole, a lap. Right from the edge of your seat. Hit him with the promo.
Morency's on every night, Sports Rage, 10 East, along all of our TV stations, TV outlets, streaming networks, you name it, he's on it, plus radio, Sports Byline, USA, all their affiliates, DPAC holding it down for us in the city by the bay, and on Sirius XM channel 159 all over the Southern Hemisphere on satellite radio. Well, your over in golds for Canada hit.
Never in doubt, Scott. Never in doubt. And actually, all kidding aside, there was a lot of doubt. These numbers are incredibly sharp, and I bet on over gold medals for Canada, China, France, and the United States. And quite frankly, I'm not sure any of them are going to get there. I think China might get there. The U.S. better start racking up some gold if they're going to get to 40. I'll tell you that. But Canada, Scott, are the king of the hammer throw. They won the women's gold medal and the men's gold medal in hammer throw. And Summer McIntosh won 3 gold medals in the pool, and they won a judo medal as well. So they get to 6. Definitely softens the blow. I put a pretty big play on this, Scott. So it definitely softens the blow. Not only that, I actually bet on her to win the hammer throw. Cameron Rogers, she's the number 1 ranked player in the world, but this is her first gold medal. And it softens the blow of Team Canada's basketball team falling short and not even getting a chance to play to get on the podium as they lose to France this morning.
So I was on Kaplan and crew today before the show, and I said, no one bets more than Morency. I said, my man he was betting on chicks on horses, people throwing discus, people throwing water polo. He was betting on, I said, he went D-Gen City on the Olympics. He bet on everything. I said,
Scott, I got a bet.
5 million bets going on the Olympics.
I got a bet that I put in late on Saturday night. I'm not even sure what I bet. It's called Formula Kite. I don't even know what that means.
And you bet
What
anyway.
is that? Yeah, I got, you know what? I thought it was good value. I sort of looked it up after a couple of drinks. I was like, you know what? This girl looks like she actually will win. Then I wake up the next day. I'm like, Formula Kite. What the hell is Formula? I think it's some sort of sailing thing or something like that. But I'm just sort of checking, and I keep on sort of hitting refresh to see if she won or lost. See, I got a lot of bets.
Is it like those dudes that fly on the with the kites on the water? Is it like dudes like that?
Let's see. You know what? I did watch the gold medal surfing this morning. Actually, dude from France won. What a scene that was. It's pretty cool, Scott. They had fans out on boats, like right near the surfers. That's pretty cool ticket, huh? Forget about the stands.
It's the only place
Kick
you
on
can
in
go.
Tahiti. Yeah, on a boat in Tahiti.
You can't go near that break. It's too dangerous. It's one of the most dangerous surf breaks in the world. And so they hide on boats and they hide on jet skis at the end of the line of the barrel. And then everyone else is on shore. And it's like, it's almost like literally a quarter mile from the break to the shore. And so
they're out there.
You see all these people on the shore cheering for them. And they're little ants because they're so far away. But they really partied when they won. The winners were up on the podium barefoot, in their surf trowel. The chick from America won the gold. The guy Medina, Funky Cold Medina, that floated with the number 1, the picture of the guy that flew out of the water, he got the bronze. I loved the surfing. So I'm not wrong when I say I was surprised Canada lost, to be honest with you, because that team was stacked and they were loaded with NBA talent. I talked about Shai Gilgeous-Murray. It goes on and on. Barrett, you and I had this conversation at the beginning. We thought it'd be Canada and the USA in the final.
It seemed on paper that would be the way. I've always respected the Germans, Scott. I think Germany are a really dangerous team. People don't realize this. Germany have won 12 straight games in international play. They won 8-0 in the World Cup last year. Now they've just won 4 straight. 12 in a row is 12 in a row. Germany haven't lost an international basketball game like they lost to the U.S. in the exhibition, but in a real game since the Eurobasket in 2022. Like, they are a dangerous team. France sort of played today the way that we thought they could, Scott, coming into the tournament. I thought France were a dangerous team, but France got lit up by Germany in their last game. And I actually think that was a negative for Canada, and it was a positive for France. They were humiliated. Like, they lost by, they were down by like 30 at one point to Germany. And, when you get, the score get run up on you like that, you're really going to regain focus after the fact. And quite frankly, Scott, this game was decided in the first 5 minutes today. Like, it was one of those, like a college basketball, like Team Canada almost thinks like an NBA game. It's not 48 minutes, it's 40 minutes. You're in France. No excuses, but the refs screwed them hard all game. Like they were, it was like Euro refs. Canada was getting, pinched at every turn, but no excuses. France deserved to win the basketball game, but they just dug themselves too much of a hole early. You can't be down 16 and 19 points in a 40-minute game, and they actually cut the lead to 6. And there was about 4 minutes left. They cut the lead to 6, and it almost felt like, whoa, this is getting real now. Canada's coming close. SGA went to the free throw line, could have cut the lead to 4 points, Scott, missed both free throws. Then Fournier pops a 3 at the other end. Give credit to Fournier. But if you would have told me, Scott, that Victor Wembanyama would have been held to 7 points and Rudy Gobert would have been benched and played 4 minutes, I don't think Canada would have lost this game. But here we are right now.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So now you're telling me that France plays Germany again in the next round. I think Germany will beat them again.
Yeah, I think Germany probably will beat them again, Scott. I don't think it'll be a rout this time. France are very good defensively. They've got a lot of big bodies. Their EuroLeague guys really brought it tonight. Cardinier, Fournier played the fourth quarter of his life. Just one big-time 3 after another. Let's give them credit. And the home crowd didn't hurt, bro. You got 25,000 people in there in that arena.
So we got another shot with Morency coming up. Thank God for that. So we'll keep raging with Sports Rage. Don't forget, weeknights at 10 everywhere.
Hopefully they learned their lesson. Hey, this ain't the NBA, bro. You don't have 6 fouls, and they will check you on this stuff. And Brooks has a reputation coming into this. You can tell the refs are watching them, and they were on him all the time.
This was 10, 12 years ago. Canada playing Greece with that type of lead that they had. They probably would have mentally crumbled and lost that game to Greece by 3 or 4 points in the final minute of that ball game.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Try and set the stage for what should be a great year of NFL action.
There's a handful of teams that potentially can compete for a Super Bowl championship.
Confusion and uncertainty this year more than some in the past.
This team looks like it's ready to make a move, but we just don't know if it's bad or good this year.
J.J. McCarthy is eventually going to take over, but it's a no-lose situation for them.
I mean, they suck. They were 7-10.
Only on SportsGrid.
That race for the Cy Young, pretty much as equally compelling and intriguing as the race for the wild card spots in the National League.
And also keep in mind, this team doesn't pitch the entire season, so his ERA gets affected much, much more if he has a poor outing than, let's just say, Chris Sale or Zach Wheeler that's been there all season long. This would be a fun one to watch it play out, but the big loser last night were the Phillies and Zach Wheeler.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Their coach has a personality that is New York City. Tough, grinding, defensive, no holds barred. We muck this game up and we make you play it our way. And Tibbs has been rewarded. And he should be rewarded for what he's done with the Knicks.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
So, Morency, you just mentioned that women's 200. I think that chick from the U.S.
St.
Thomas.
Lucia.
I think the one from America that's Thomas.
Oh,
That's so
Gabby
fast.
Thomas.
Yeah, I think I want to have an affair with her.
Yeah, she's not. She's fit. We'll put it that way. It's a very fit.
Very fit.
Like I said, I tweeted out over the week. I said, "Listen, if you don't like the Olympics, number one, you don't like sports, and you don't like hot people, like point blank. Like saying I don't like the Olympics, saying like I said last night on Sports Rate, Scott. I think it's a good analogy. I think these Olympics are basically Baywatch with sports.
Yeah,
except
awesome.
Except more hardcore. Like all of it's like, whoa.
The chick was running like on world record pace, and I didn't even care. I was like, she's kind of she never broke a sweat. She had like the 5-inch nails, perfect hair, flowing in the wind.
Oh yeah,
beautiful,
they all bring
perfect
it.
body.
You
Oh
know,
my
Scott,
God.
That's what freaked me out too. It's a good point about the women track and field runners. So when they lean down to start the race, they all have these crazy nail jobs. And, like their nails are touching the track instead of their fingers. It's like they got these crazy nails. I'm thinking, want to slow you down a little bit? You got these all of these crazy paint jobs and long nails. Oh, it's great stuff. They bring it. Listen, the woman from St. Lucia, Julian Alfred, that won the 100 meters, she's in this race as well. Thomas is the favorite. She's minus 225. I vowed yesterday, Scott, never to bet on these quick track
Fast
meets.
races.
Yeah, listen, I got the U.S. over 39.5 medals, so I'm pulling USA. Let's get it, baby. All right, the girl from St. Lucia's already had her gold.
They can't possibly get to 40 golds, can they, in 6 days? Like, are there that many events?
We're running out of events. They're gonna have to win. It's gonna be close, actually. There's still quite a few events, Scott. They're like the real Olympic-y events, though. Like I said, like the Formula Kite, the Formula Kite. We've got a bunch of wrestling coming up still. There's Taekwondo. There's still quite a few track things, though, to be honest. You got men's track and field 5,000 meter, 800 meter, 1,500 meters. So if they start racking this thing up, but no, Scott, I think they're going to end up falling short of the 39.5. China's at like 22 right now. I think they might be able to get to 34. My France bet's going to fall short, but at least I hit the Canada today. Like I said, it really would have been devastating if Canada didn't win this hammer throw because they have maybe 2 more chances to win a gold medal. And you never know, right? They might, I look forward to seeing the breakdancing competition on the weekend.
Do you think China cheats at everything?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen anything like some of their athletes don't look like athletes at all, but yet they still win their events? That's when you know you're cheating. When the swimmer has
I want to say every one of them, but I don't think they have a choice, Scott. It's almost like if you're on Team China, you do what they tell you to do. Like I almost feel bad for the athletes. The swim team is the one that they had 11 swimmers in the Olympics that failed a test that are known cheaters. And China, the Chinese governing body cleared them, Scott, because they said that it was food poisoning. So a lot of people are sort of like mocking their swimming medals. It is what it is. I think China basically are so ahead of the curve that they have things that they're not even testing for yet. Right?
Did you see
if you want to cheat, you can always be ahead of them.
There's people complaining that they found worms in the food in the village, like the Olympic Village. The athletes said there was worms in their food.
Yeah, one of the swimmers from the Seine River, Scott. It's like this. It makes the Hudson look like Evian bottled water. That river. They're in a hospital right now. Yeah, I'd sue the Olympics for that. If I was an Olympian and I swam in the Seine River and I ended up in a hospital in Paris for 10 days,
infectious disease.
I'm suing them. It's like you made me swim in an unsafe environment. I wonder if they make you sign a waiver.
What is
What are
your bets for the basketball here coming up?
Oh, this is such a tough one, isn't it? Like 27, 28 points in a game. I hate this stuff. I'm going under the number, guys. It's 184.5. I figure the USA wins 100 to 70 or something like that. It'll be right around the point spread, but I'm going to roll the dice that we don't get to 185 points in a 40-minute game.
Do you think that Brazil, just off the top of your head, that Brazil can cover that 27 and a hook?
Yeah, I think it'll be. Yeah, I think it'll. It's an elimination game. Winning margin doesn't matter. The U.S. If the U.S. is up by 22 late, they're not going to care about the 27.
All the games were close today, and I think this one will be better than people think it'll be because of the way Brazil rebounds. All right, Morency, we'll see you tonight.
Thanks, Scott. Hopefully they learned their lesson. Hey, this ain't the NBA, bro. You don't have 6 fouls, and they will check you on this stuff. And Brooks has a reputation coming into this. You can tell the refs are watching them, and they were on him all the time.
This was 10, 12 years ago. Canada playing Greece with that type of lead that they had. They probably would have mentally crumbled and lost that game to Greece by 3 or 4 points in the final minute of that ball game.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Try and set the stage for what should be a great year of NFL action.
There's a handful of teams that potentially can compete for a Super Bowl championship.
Confusion and uncertainty this year more than some in the past.
This team looks like it's ready to make a move, but we just don't know if it's bad or good this year.
J.J. McCarthy is eventually going to take over, but it's a no-lose situation for them.
I mean, they suck. They were 7-10.
Only on SportsGrid.
That race for the Cy Young, pretty much as equally compelling and intriguing as the race for the wild card spots in the National League.
And also keep in mind, this team doesn't pitch the entire season, so his ERA gets affected much, much more if he has a poor outing than, let's just say, Chris Sale or Zach Wheeler that's been there all season long. This would be a fun one to watch it play out, but the big loser last night were the Phillies and Zach Wheeler.
Early line, only on SportsGrid.
Their coach has a personality that is New York City. Tough, grinding, defensive, no holds barred. We muck this game up and we make you play it our way. And Tibbs has been rewarded. And he should be rewarded for what he's done with the Knicks.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
So Joe Ranieri's been telling everyone, including the old men at the bocce ball courts in Miami, about the BetMGM First Bet 1500. He told them it's 4 easy steps to get it. You download the BetMGM Sportsbook app on iOS or Android, or go to BetMGM.com. 2, sign up, deposit at least 10 into your new account. You're off and running. Boom. 3, place your first wager and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if the bet loses. And 4, if the bet does lose, your bonus bets will be available once your initial wager is settled. And so what's happened is, and Joe will tell you, that he turned on all the old men at the bocce courts onto it, and they all gamble so heavily that 100% of them bet $1,500 on their first bet, and some of them lost and got their $1,500 back in bonus bets, and now all the guys down there love you.
Pretty much. And I even got turned on to Belarus handball by these guys. So I'm very, it's a win-win situation with BetMGM.
What did Morency say to me about some kind of kite flying in the Olympics? Like there's a kite thing. What is that?
I was confused because Gabe had mentioned the fact, like watching Baywatch in sports, right? But then I'm like, didn't you just tell us the chick throwing the hammer throw for Canada may not have been in that? I don't know if the hammer throw is included in that, but I do agree with him. There are some very unique games in the Olympics that you don't generally see every day.
Can we just, for a moment, Mafia, would it be all right if we just, like, for one moment, just had a memory flashback to the Baywatch girls in their red bikinis at the beach in California? Let's think about that for a second, Joe. Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that was nice.
That really was fantastic.
That was nice.
Now I'm getting a note right in my ear. Talk baseball now. Stop talking about G-strings. Okay. The Rangers beat the Astros 4-3 and 10 at home in the Battle of Texas at Globe. How about Josh Smith getting involved in the 10th inning on the Rangers radio network?
Garcia at second. 3-2 Astros. Bottom 10. The 3-1. Smith swings. It's a high drive to right. That ball's back. It is out of here. Good night. Josh Smith, a walk-off homer. And the Rangers beat the Astros 4-3.
Wow, that was a hell of a call by that guy. I'll give you this, Joe. They needed that because I think they've been World Series chumps all year.
And with no good reason, Scotty, because that lineup is the same lineup that won a championship a year ago. Minus, there's no real big injuries there. The pitching staff is one thing, but the inability to score runs is crazy. But they were lucky to win that game because the Astros went 1 for 7 with 5 strikeouts with the bases loaded in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning.
So the Red Sox have an 18-hit game in Kansas City against the Royals and only 1 home run. Gonzalez, a 2-run pinch hit homer to put Boston up 8-2 in the 7th on the Red Sox radio network.
2-0 is hit in the air to left center field and deep. Back to the wall it goes, and it's a pinch home run for Romy Gonzalez, and the Red Sox have broken it open. They lead at 8-2 on a 2-0 pitch. Romy drives it just to the left of dead center into the bleachers there. His 3rd home run. He's got 14 RBIs, and Alex Cora sending up the pinch hitter who delivers instantly.
Isn't that Castiglione right there, Joe? I think so.
Yep. Yeah. Sounds great, doesn't it? It sounds classic. You always know where he is with that voice.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Stuff a legend right there, even though I hate the Red Sox with venom and guile and disgust and misery. I wish ill will on all of them except Castiglione. The Diamondbacks get by the Guardians 7-6 in a great game in 10 innings in Cleveland. Genio Suarez hit a sac fly in the top of the 10th to give the D-backs the lead. By the way, catcher Gabriel Moreno left the game early and will go on the DL with a groin strain. And then as far as the D-backs, they get Eduardo Rodriguez back tonight. He's going to pitch. Remember, he had the shoulder problems, Joe, but he's a winner. The guy wins big games. He used to win big games in Boston, and now he's winning or at least getting into that winning way in Arizona. You have to admit they've been playing fantastic baseball for a month now and maybe a week. So about 5 weeks they've been playing killer baseball. They win again last night. That's just a big win in Cleveland. They were down. They rallied. They won it. What do you think of them getting him back in their rotation? And they're already winning without him.
Absolutely. And Scotty, if I'm playing the Diamondbacks, stop pitching to Jock Peterson. The guy is absolutely destroying the ball right now. A 2-run home run in the 8th to win it for him last night. They ended up tying it and going to extra and beat Class A because they bunted a guy. They played small ball. Nobody outside of the Yankees and the Diamondbacks. These are the 2 best hitting teams for about the last month now, Scotty. They are winning at the plate, and that's helping the pitching. And I would not sleep on the Diamondbacks moving forward.
He killed the Pirates over the weekend in Pittsburgh, Peterson. So they were up 4-0 in that game the other day when Skeens pitched, and they lost, what was it, 6-5? Whatever the final score was, they came back and beat him because of Jock Peterson. No doubt he's been lighting it up. You're right about that. The Reds beat the Marlins 10-3 in Miami. They put up 15 hits, 4 home runs. How about your boy, Ellie De La Cruz hits a solo home run for his second of the game to put the Reds up 8-3 on the Reds radio network.
And all 3 of his hits tonight. Pitch. De La Cruz hits another one hard. High and very deep to right. And this ball's gone. 3 or 4 rows deep into the upper deck over the Reds bullpen. De La Cruz has his fourth extra base hit tonight and his second home run for number 20 on the year.
Did you see that? 4 extra base hits, 30 home runs. I mean, this guy is absolutely carving it up for the Reds. He's a badass.
He has quietly, too, been an absolute moneymaker. Over 1.5 bases, Scotty, and over a half a steal in every game, and you're retiring this year. He has been an absolute ATM machine in the prop betting market, and because they haven't really played up to I mean, they're under 500, but nobody's paid attention to him. The guy is absolutely killing it for backers and bettors that have been behind him in the prop market.
The Mets smacked the Cards 6-0 at Busch in a makeup game. Sean Manaea, 10 strikeouts in 7 shutout innings. Second start in a row of shutout ball for Manaea. Tyrone Taylor hits a bases-clearing RBI double to give the Mets a 5-zip lead in the 5th on the Mets radio network.
Line down the right field line. That's a base hit by Taylor going into the corner. Alvarez is in. Bader is in. Nimmo getting waved around toward the plate. The throw to the plate is not in time. A 3-run double to right for Tyrone Taylor. He empties the bases, and the Mets take a big 5-0 lead.
I got to tell you, Joe, I don't want to play this team in the playoffs. The Mets, to me, are the perfect wild card team that could actually defy all the odds and go on a run and make it to the World Series. That lineup of theirs is sickening. They got pop, they got hits, RBIs, they got defense, they got pitching. What don't they have except high odds?
Yes, exactly. And Sean Manaea looks like a Cabbage Patch Kid with that hair, and he's still shutting guys down. So a phenomenal job by Manaea.
All right. We'll come back with the mayor of Miami. Here he is, Joe Ranieri.
Hopefully they learned their lesson. Hey, this ain't the NBA, bro. You don't have 6 fouls, and they will check you on this stuff. And Brooks has a reputation coming into this. You can tell the refs are watching them, and they were on him all the time.
This was 10, 12 years ago. Canada playing Greece with that type of lead that they had. They probably would have mentally crumbled and lost that game to Greece by 3 or 4 points in the final minute of that ball game.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Try and set the stage for what should be a great year of NFL action.
There's a handful of teams that potentially can compete for a Super Bowl championship.
Confusion and uncertainty this year more than some in the past.
This team looks like it's ready to make a move, but we just don't know if it's bad or good this year.
J.J. McCarthy is eventually going to take over, but it's like it's a no-lose situation for them.
I mean, they suck. They were 7-10.
Only on SportsGrid.
That race for the Cy Young, pretty much as equally compelling and intriguing as the race for the wild card spots in the National League.
And also keep in mind, this team doesn't pitch the entire season, so his ERA gets affected much, much more if he has a poor outing than, let's just say, Chris Sale or Zach Wheeler that's been there all season long. This would be a fun one to watch it play out, but the big loser last night were the Phillies and Zach Wheeler.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Their coach has a personality that is New York City. Tough, grinding, defensive, no holds barred. We muck this game up and we make you play it our way. And Tibbs has been rewarded, and he should be rewarded for what he's done with the Knicks.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
So, Joe, I told you I play with a lot of great players. I played with the 2 7-footers last night. Mafia is very upset about it because Mafia is 6'5", 240, and he's very jealous whenever I talk about guys that are bigger than him. You could tell, and he's cussing in my ear right now. Cussing. You hear him cussing at me? It's unbelievable. Just mind your own business, Mafia. No one can stop you. 6'5", 240 in the middle. You got big game, James. But the 2 7-footers would have humiliated him. He would have looked like a small person to the 7-footers. These two gargantuan 7-footers I played with last night. So the U.S. is up early on Brazil and really, frankly, doing whatever they want to them. From what I'm seeing, it is what it is. We're still talking baseball with the mayor of Miami, Joe Ranieri, on Coast to Coast Tuesday. Good to have you with us. Thank God for Joe filling in. Carver, of course, our condolences to his family. His uncle passed over, I think, Friday night, whatever, Saturday, and he's at the funeral today. And then my other buddy is at his father's funeral today. It's just a bad day for funerals. But our condolences out to everybody that lost someone. The Giants beat the Nationals 4-1 in D.C. I gave you a tater yesterday with Matt Chapman on Coast to Coast. I said he would hit one out, and he did a 3-run shot to end. It ended up 4-zip on the Giants radio network.
Conforto, 353 lifetime average with 5 homers and 35 at-bats. And there's a high drive. Deep down the left field line. Speaking of home runs, goodbye. High up into the bleachers, almost to the back row, down the line. And that is a 3-run homer. Matt Chapman makes it a 4-0 Giants lead.
Speaking of great announcers, right? He can call a baseball game, your boy. Yeah, I hit the Chapman prop last night. A nice tater in Carver High's honor.
Huge.
The Twins shut down the Cubs 3-0 at Wrigley. Dave Festa with 9 strikeouts in 5 innings for the Twins. The A's beat the White Sox 5-1. 21 straight losses. It ties an American League record for the longest losing streak. Things are so bad for the White Sox that Zach Geloff scores after Schumann strikes out in the 8th on the Oakland radio network.
Now here's the 1-2 pitch. And swung on a miss. Pitch in the dirt. And Lee holds the runner at third. Throws the first for the out. They come back to the plate. And the ball gets away from Lee. And Geloff scores the run. And the A's lead 5-1. Great job of alert base running by Zach Geloff.
Remember Bob Geldof? I think wasn't he in those like Pink Floyd videos? Wasn't he the guy that wouldn't answer the phone? Hello, this is London calling. Is this America?
That's
and he hung up. Remember? Wasn't that Bob Geldof?
Oh my! Bob Geldof. Yeah.
How bad are the White Sox? I got to tell you, Joe. I bet against them like every night.
They put, Scotty, somebody had it on social media where if you had started when this 21-game losing streak, if you just would have done a money line rollover every game, you'd be retired now. You'd be about $6 million to the richer if you just kept fading the Chicago White Sox for 21 straight. The record, I believe, is 21. They tied it last night. Baltimore back in 88 in the American League for the most. And now... well, here we go. The Oakland A's have a chance to make the White Sox in the record book, Scott. You won't say that very often. Wow.
The Dodgers beat the Phillies 5-3 at the Ravine. Ohtani, a solo shot in the 8th to put the Dodgers up 5-3 on the Dodgers radio network.
Hanks ready, first base side of the rubber. Ohtani, high fly ball, left center field, in the air, hit a ton. Marsh is at the wall, he leaps, it is gone! Shohei Ohtani has to go back to first just to make sure he touches the bag so he can touch them all. Number 34 for Ohtani, and the Dodgers lead by 2. It's 5-3.
So going back, Teoscar Hernandez also hit one last night. Going back to the Giants game, Joe, I also hit a prop on Fitzgerald. He hit another one, the rookie. I had a Fitzgerald tater, and I had a Chapman tater last night. We rang the bell twice. Big win for Glasnow and the Dodgers. And tonight is a huge test. Obviously, we'll talk about it later, but they have been concerned about Clayton Kershaw because his first start, he went 4 innings. His second start, he got lit up. This will be his third start, and they're worried about his shoulder.
They got to be. I mean, and what are you going to get out of him, really, Scotty? I mean, he's basically what, a 5-inning pitcher now, if you're lucky, and that's what you're hoping for. And something is better than nothing here. Nobody's gone through more pitchers than the Dodgers, so knock on wood. Let's hope he can get at least 5 solid every outing.
So did you see they unveiled a new Jackie Robinson statue in Wichita? Did you see the guy that defaced the original one? They gave him 15 years in prison. My man got 15 years.
Yeah.
Hope it was
Should have
worth
grabbed
it.
yourself an easel and like a board, dude, and you would have saved yourself 15 years. Like you could have defaced a canvas all day long. Like, what are you doing? Unbelievable. 15 years. Wow.
15
Hey,
years.
what are you in
prison.
for, Scotty?
Honestly, I mean, it's incredible. The A's agreed to sell their stake in the Oakland Coliseum to a private black development group. It helps pave the way to build a giant entertainment and sports complex on the grounds. The group had purchased the city's 50% stake in May, so now they have all of it. The question I have for you is, why in God's name would anyone build another sports complex in that hellhole? Like, honestly, everyone left because it's such a hellhole. They don't need an entertainment center. What they need is, low-income housing, restaurants, bars, jobs. They don't need sports.
Bingo.
They've already failed at sports, Joe.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I mean, listen, you had 8 people there last night to watch the White Sox lose. How many people are going to an entertainment complex right now in Oakland, Alameda? No, it's a losing proposition, Scotty. I don't get it.
Braves place all-star starter Ronaldo Lopez on a 15-day IL with right forearm inflammation. I think I have that as well. The Braves and Reds will play a game in 2025 at Bristol Motor Speedway. People are still interested in that place, honestly.
Hopefully they learned their lesson. Hey, this ain't the NBA, bro. You don't have 6 fouls, and they will check you on this stuff. And Brooks has a reputation coming into this. You can tell the refs are watching them, and they were on him all the time.
This was 10, 12 years ago. Canada playing Greece with that type of lead that they had. They probably would have mentally crumbled and lost that game to Greece by 3 or 4 points in the final minute of that ball game.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Try and set the stage for what should be a great year of NFL action.
There's a handful of teams that potentially can compete for a Super Bowl championship.
Confusion and uncertainty this year more than some in the past.
This team looks like it's ready to make a move, but we just don't know if it's bad or good this year.
J.J. McCarthy is eventually going to take over, but it's a no-lose situation for them.
I mean, they suck. They were 7-10.
Only on SportsGrid.
That race for the Cy Young, pretty much as equally compelling and intriguing as the race for the wild card spots in the National League.
And also keep in mind, this team doesn't pitch the entire season, so his ERA gets affected much, much more if he has a poor outing than, let's just say, Chris Sale or Zach Wheeler that's been there all season long. This would be a fun one to watch it play out, but the big loser last night were the Phillies and Zach Wheeler.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Their coach has a personality that is New York City. Tough, grinding, defensive, no holds barred. We muck this game up and we make you play it our way. And Tibbs has been rewarded. And he should be rewarded for what he's done with the Knicks.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
want to look at all the standings now in baseball and see who Joe thinks is going to come through in the clutch in the end. Let's start with the AL East standings and see how things have changed. The Yankees and O's are tied atop the East, and now Boston 6 back. How do you think it plays out, Joe?
Just like you see it on the board there, Scott, it's going to come down to Baltimore and New York, and there's just no way around it here. And the big question is, which starting rotation are we going to trust more when it matters the most? It's going to be a game or two at most, whoever wins it. I still lean the Yankees. I think the experience, and I think Garrett Cole will be there when they need him to be there and be the ace. Him and Corbin Burns going at it would make must-watch television for all the marbles.
Are you surprised at how well Rodon has looked in his last couple of outings? He's had his ball biting down.
Well, listen, people forget it's a long season, right, Scotty? Like he looked that good early on. Then he kind of hit that lull, and, there were 6 straight starts where he looked like he couldn't locate the ball at all. But now all of a sudden he's starting to come out of it. I think it's a good rotation. If they all stay healthy, I'm okay going into a short series with those 2 guys up at the top.
Let's look at the NL East standings and then those odds. Here's the standings. It's down to 5.5 over Atlanta. The Mets 7 deep. I got to be honest with you. As I said before, I think the Mets are a dangerous wild card team, and I actually don't believe the Braves can catch them in the East. Do you believe the Mets can jump the Braves and go for it against the Phillies, particularly the way the Phillies have looked over the last month? They've looked terrible.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing I've said with the Phillies, Scotty. You and I both know that the Phillies were always a team you wanted to back in the second half of the season. Why? Because that was when they started to come into their own. This year, the Phillies came out blasting, and everyone's like, oh, my God. Did they peak too soon, Scotty? Because to me, I think the Phillies' problem is they might have played their best baseball too early, and now it's going to be downhill from here. So I'm with you. I think Atlanta and the Mets are very much more alive than people want to give them credit for here, rather than Philadelphia.
Let's look at the odds for the NL East and see, as we looked before, Phillies still -6 Bills, Atlanta +425. Look at those odds for the Mets. Oh, my God.
Yeah, they're not giving them. Yeah. Well, the Phillies took advantage of a very weak schedule early and took total advantage of. You know who else did that? Tampa did that last year, Scotty, if you remember. They came out red hot in April and May. They only lost like 5 games, and then they sucked in the second half and barely limped in. And that was what I fear is going to happen to Philadelphia here. But they won enough games to be worthy of that price at this point.
All right, let's look at the AL Central standings and then those odds. Here's the Guardians lead, down to 3.5 over the Twins. Do you think Minnesota can catch them?
This is a coin flip. First of all, did you have Kansas City at 65 wins at this point in the season? So this whole division to me, Scotty, is mind-blowing. They're all neck and neck right there. I am shocked at the Guardians. I think the Guardians are playing above their head. I do think there's going to be some regression. I thought it was the Twins division to lose originally this year. I still like the bullpen. I like the front-end pitching, and I think the bats, both teams have enough power and pop to be able to score runs. So I think it's going to come down to starting pitching, and I give the edge to the Minnesota Twins.
So do I, but that guy, J-Ram, he is such a badass. When he's on that left side of the plate, he can really do it. All right, let's look at the NL Central. The NL Central, this is my division here. My Bucks are 6 games back. Do you give them a wing and a prayer at all against the Brewers, or is this Milwaukee's automatic?
Well, listen, Milwaukee has done enough early to get it done. The question is, can they hold on? I'm not sleeping on Pittsburgh, but the question is, how much longer does Skeens go? Are they shutting him down, Scotty? Are they?
You know, Dave Sheraban insists they're not, and I hope not. I think he can go. He's a horse. I think they should pitch him.
Yep.
If they're going for the wild card, then go for the wild card. And you can't get the wild card if you shut him down.